Hello, good evening, welcome to Bars and Bells. My name is Lauryn.
I'm Ian.
And this is our Strength and Swings class, where we use our strength to move a kettlebell up and down. It's a really great time. We start with our body weight, and we'll move into kettlebell moves. I have a medium load for me off to the side, and Ian has his bell there.
Heavy, but not quite the heaviest here.
Have your bells off to the side. For now, let's get started on the floor. So come on down, anyhow you'd like, into a mer person sit. A mer person sit is this 90-90-ish position. So our knee is bent and right in front of our hip, and this foot is either in the plantar flex or the dorsiflex position. Our back leg is in line with our hip, and our back hip, just gently try to squeeze that cheek and press it forward for a couple seconds as you sit here, and then lightly relax. Let's repeat that again. Gently extend that back hip. Think about trying to grow up, and then relax. Let's do that same idea, but from your elbow. Come on down to the floor, elbows in line with our hip, this time right underneath our shoulder. From here, same idea. Just squeeze that back butt cheek, pushing that hip forward and trying to lengthen out that hip flexor a little bit. At the same time, reach away from center to get long through that mid body. Take your top arm, we're gonna add a little rotation in. First, let's just move our head neck. So we'll rotate our head to look at the elbow on the floor, and then back through center and slowly up towards the ceiling. Let's repeat again, looking down towards the elbow, and then up towards the ceiling. This time we'll look back down towards the elbow and we'll rotate that upper body to follow closed. Then from here, our head will rotate open and those shoulders. All the while that back hip still keeps pushing forward. One more time, the heads rotate and the shoulders, and then the head open and the shoulders open. Before we leave this position, let's extend that front leg, pointing it out in front of you. And then maybe stay on the elbow or press up to that hurdle-like position. And as we sit here, I like to point my foot, you do either. Rotate that leg open, so inseam up, and then back to center, and that inseam turns down. Repeat one more time each way, growing tall. Back hip still slightly extended forward. Come back to center. Gently bend that leg, bringing it in, and we'll repeat with Ian on the other side.
Anyhow that there is available to you, let's get into that mer person sit here. Avoid that slump, so use that arm off to the side as an outrigger to sit yourself up nice and tall. We either have those pointer flexed feet or karate style foot in front, aiming to sit tall, keeping the ribs over the hips. Let's get to that elbow and work on the rotations from here. Lauryn cued that hip extension. Pull the front femur on the ground in and squeeze your butt cheek in the back. Hold for time, and as well, create that nice tension with the core, pulling the rib cage away from the floor. Relax the hips, let them open up to the back a little bit, and repeat one more time as we pull in on the front, extending the top hip with our bum squeeze. Keep that position throughout, check in, and then at the head neck, rotate to looking at the forearm on the ground. Look towards the ceiling, rotating up, and then repeat, looking towards the forearm on the floor. This time, keep the head there and let the upper body follow as we add a rotation through that rib cage or T-spine. Look towards the ceiling with the head neck, then let the rib cage follow. Take a moment here to extend that back hip, pull the front femur in, and one last time, look to the floor with the head neck. Remember to breathe.
Don't remember.
Add your rotation. Then last time, look up to the ceiling. Rotate through the body next. Press the floor away. That's right, Lauryn. We straighten the leg. So from here, let's just straighten that leg out front and then press to your hurdles tall sit. Turning out of the hip, that inseam up and the kneecap out. Turn in on the hip, just that little bit, to have the kneecap approach the midline. Repeat one more time as we open up and then turn in. From here, bend that knee in front. Aim to have yourself in your tall sit once more. And then, Lauryn.
I was just agreeing with you. We're going to move on to those wrists. We have get-ups coming up, so let's warm up the wrists from the all fours position. with our hands right underneath our shoulders and our fingers spread out wide. I always practice my handstand like hand when I'm warming up my wrist, so my fingers are gripping the floor, that callus line is connected, and I'm distributing the load through the whole hand versus just down through the wrist. Let's rotate those elbow pits and face them forward. With those facing forward and our shoulders down, we're going to gently pull ourselves forward so that our shoulders drift towards over our fingertips or wrist extension. Now, like in your handstand, use your fingers and press yourself back. Repeat that a couple times. Pulling on the floor, drifting forward. You don't have to do handstands to do this. You can do get-ups. Then press yourself back. Let's come back to that stacked position, and for 3 in a row, fingers will stay on the ground and you'll push the palms away to that first knuckle. Keep the elbows straight as you bring those palms back down. Repeat 2 more times. Straight elbows, packed shoulders up. Control the down. Last time to the fingers, and then lightly flick the floor away and shake that out. Let's do a quick lunge, and then we'll come back to those wrists in a second. Bring a single leg up to the front. I'd like you to have your back leg tucked because we're going to do some lift-offs, but if you can't have that back toe tucked, point it straight behind you. We're going to tuck under that back butt cheek, meaning scoop that hip and squeeze that cheek as we pull that front leg into the socket. So feel that tension pulling in and pushing forward for 3, 2, and then relax, but don't go too far. Let's dial up that tension again, pulling that front leg in, squeezing and tucking under that back leg. Feel that load through that front of the hip a little bit. Now keep the tension, but start pushing down and forward and down and back. And as you feel that split, it should make you want to elevate slightly off the floor. If you can, let's hold and then slowly come back down. Before we go anywhere, we're going to get to our demi point. So from this position, keeping that back hip extended, we're going to press into the floor to get to the demi point, or like a balance foot. And then slowly heel, come back down. Let's do that 2 more times. Back hip stays extended, pull in to drive up, and then press forward and down. Last time, feel that pull to that demi point, and then heel comes down. Before we change sides, push down and forward, down and back. 1 more hover off the floor for 3, 2, and then soft landing. Bring that leg underneath, zip. Same thing on the other side. So with horizontally level hips and that back hip slightly tucked under, that front leg pulling in, our toe is either tucked in the back or pointed straight behind us. We have that scissor tension, pulling in, pressing forward. And then relax, but stay. Repeat again, tucking under that back hip, pulling that front leg in as that back hip extends forward for 3, 2, now keep the tension, but change the direction of the force. Push down and forward and down and back, even though that back hip's staying extended. As you do that, you might get that lift off the floor. Shoulders over top of hips. Soft land.
Squats.
Yeah, quads. Then we do our demi point raises. So we're thinking about pulling in that leg, getting to that demi point, and then heel comes back down. Back hip stays extended. Repeat 2 more times. Press and control the down. And last one, pulling to get off that floor, and then back down. 1 more hover, pushing down and forward, down and back. Keep extended, and then soft landing. Let's pull that leg underneath, revisit a different style of wrists, and then let's come back to those lunges after.
Lauryn loves those sideways facing hands when it comes time to do those get-ups. Because in that get-up, that hands
Squishes the bug
off to the side. Set up your hinge, land fingertips, calluses, and then full hands. Oops. With a quarter turn. So fingertips face the side, calluses, and then full hands. Look between those hands, but press to the right to have your body weight go towards the left. Then press towards the left to accept that load on the other hand. Do you feel the preload? Can you push without moving and then press through the range? Same thing, push. Feel the preload, just like when we lift our kettlebells. Repeat once more. End up in center and pushing equally each way. Finish with the flick of the wrists and those hips through and the core engaged.
I said we come back to that lunge position, and we are, but we're gonna start in the top of the lunge. So let's place our hands back down on the floor. Tip our tailbone lightly to the ceiling. Push the floor forward and back to lift the hips up towards your A-frame shape. In this position, keep the tailbone long and tilting towards the ceiling as you gently and slowly try to press your heels towards the floor, straightening your knees. They don't have to touch. It's okay if they don't. And you prioritize that long spine. Take a breath here. Then walk your hands back to your feet. Load up your hinge position to stand up to tall. Okay, back to those lunges now. Organize yourself. Take a single leg, step it back behind you in a lunge position. We're going to slowly descend all the way to the floor. That back foot is tucked. We're pulling that front leg in as our back hip slowly presses forward, and we're keeping our shoulders over top of our hips. From here, we're going to find that active lift-off position and maybe even add on. Extended hip, lift off the floor. Either stay or for 3, press to that demi-point position. Heel comes back down. 2 more. Press and down. And last one, press, heel down, knee down. And then to stand up, forward and back, all the way to tall. Other side. Step back lunge. Back hip extended, front leg pulls in. Feel the scissor as you descend. Keep that back hip pushing forward and land softly on the floor. That down and forward, down and back, light hover up. Either staying here or adding our rise and down. Our rise and down again. The back hip's pushing forward, that front leg pulling in. Heel down, knee down. Then, up to tall.
Lunges. That'll be a part of our practice going forward here as we embrace that get up. But until then, it's time to hinge and then high plank. Hinges. Setting up with your feet just outside those hips. Chop.
Watch out for your bell.
Got it. Thank you. Chop. Those hip flexors, pressing the hips back. Vertical shins, rooted feet. This is our 2-foot hinge. Push your feet out into the ground. Extend those hips back up to tall. Repeat twice more. We'll hinge. Where's the load? Hopefully on those hamstrings. Soon enough to be on those glutes as you push your feet out. Squeeze, extending the hips all the way through. Final one, we'll hinge. From here, keep those shins vertical. Break that rule a little bit as you go knees over toes, hands to the floor, and establish yourself in your high plank or a nice modified position from the knees. Think parallel train tracks here as you pull your right hand to the right hip and the left hand to the left hip. Squeeze your butt, brace your core, and breathe. Place your knees down, gently tip the tailbone to the ceiling, press the hips back, avoid, either in a down dog or the low knees, sorry.
Oh.
That's great, that's great.
What do we do, walk together?
And then we'll press out to our plank again. From here, one more time, pull hands to feet, right hand to right, left to left, squeeze your bum, brace, and now tip your tailbone to the ceiling. Gently walk your hands to your feet or feet to hands based on space. And then from here, let's walk ourselves back to that hinge position and extend up. Lauryn had a little treat written down there on the menu. I forgot it, so hopefully we can get into it now. I'm sorry.
Let's work on our single leg hinges to each side and then go back to visit my little treat. From that hinge position, or our feet in our hinge. Double chop, both hips go back. Now, transfer your weight to one leg. Sorry, I don't know where that voice came from. Point the leg long beside you. Keep connected to the floor as you circle the leg all the way back behind you. Let's lift that hip a little bit to verticalize the shin. Roll over the foot, in, all at once. Step back to your hinge. Chip chop back. Transfer your weight to that single leg. Draw the circle all the way around the back. Stay connected to the floor. Lift the hip up to verticalize, and then to tall. One more time, each side. Chop. Stay extended and long in your spine, wearing that load through the back of the hip, the glute, and up. Last one on the other side. Getting ready for our swings later today. Just working on those single legs for now. All the way to the back. Lift the hip, load it, and then up is one. This time, we're gonna get back to that hinge. Walk ourselves out to our plank / push-up position, so your hands might be slightly wider. Hold the tension, push up, down, press up, plank, walk back in. I'll tell you as we go. Chop your hips. Walk yourself out to either your high plank or your push-up position. Let's dial up the tension by squeezing the cheeks, pulling the floor together underneath you. Keep that tension high as you slowly lower towards a push-up position, and then press back up. Now, tilting the tailbone to the ceiling, walk those hands towards your feet, walk your feet into your hands as close as you can get them. Hold a second, and then walk yourself back out to the plank / push-up position. Tension up again, pulling those lats down as you pull yourself down into your push-up, and then press, and feet walk in again. That compression in those low abs as you walk your feet in. And one last time, into the fern I go. One push-up, tension's high on the down, and up. And then last compress in, tailbone tips long, feet walk into the hands, get as close as you can, and then unstack or restack yourself up to top, or just stack. All right.
Just about done that warm-up.
Oh.
One more quick detour to just gently groove those shoulders as we will be pressing kettlebells overhead today.
That's my detour.
Start with those arms in our W position, and at the shoulders, elevate the shoulder blades. Then pull the shoulder blades low. Keep the hands where they are, but protract the shoulders, rounding the blades around the cage. Finish in retraction. Extend the elbows to a T shape. Palm pits and elbow pits face the same direction. And from here, shrug, elevating, pull, down. Protract. Find the power of the armpit to push forward. Then the rhomboids, they're in charge of that retraction next. Finish in a Y shape, hands towards overhead. And again, elevate, shrug. Pack the shoulders with stiff elbows by pulling down. Protract forward. Retract together. And then pull down through those armpits. Bend through those elbows. And either in the racks position I'm showing, or Lauryn's W, extend those elbows to straight. At our shake and wiggle. And now, I think we're just about done. That warm-up.
It was in fact a warm-up, but was also a workout. So
yeah.
If that was enough for you today, if you want to join us with the bell, get your bell.
Got it.
We're going to be working on our carries right now as a little bit of another warm-up, and some bodyweight squats, predicting the future for later in today's class. I'll do the carries, Ian will make a squat. From standing over top of your bell, use your hip hinge. We're going to grip our bell and come to our suitcase carry. So with both shoulders squared to the floor, packed, brace core, lift via your hinge. Place the bell on one side of your body, bringing your feet probably narrower underneath you. You can already hear me quivering under this load as I work hard to keep my upper body upright and not let that bell pull me over. I'm thinking about both my hips forward, my shoulders square to the front of the room, as well as breathing for 3, 2, bring that bell back to center, hinge, stay square, up without. Same thing on the other side. Hinge grip, pack shoulders, brace to lift, bring it beside your body. Weights even in your feet. You're upright, using that offside to keep you up there. Hips extended. This shoulder is slightly elevated, slightly retracted to keep that bell just off your body. For another 4, 3, 2, hinge, place bell down.
We'll get back to other kettlebell carries here as we introduce our squat. Take your squat stance wider than the first position or narrow, heels touching, but not the absolute widest. Pull your feet together, create that isometric tension, and then add that knee bend to get low. Personalize your stance as you need. Hang out here for a couple seconds. Knees or hips in, knees or hips out. Find a nice square center position and engage that core tension and feel the tension up. Repeat again. Pull, descending. Hang out here, maybe a little bit of a slide. Personalize your foot position, aiming to get your hips below those knees. Then press down, extend the hips to tall. Shake it out. We'll come back to more squats in a second, but more carries first.
Next, from that low carry, we'll get to the rack carry, where we'll have that vertical forearm, bell in tight position we will press out of later today. Stepping over top of your bell, one hand grips, one hand cuddles. Pull, zip, punch, elbow in. vertical forearm, wrist stacked. Keep that bell more on your forearm than on your bicep here, and the ribs towards the hip, square to the front of the room. Weights even in both feet, cheeks are squeezed. You're breathing underneath that shield of armor / abs for 3, 2, 2 hands, hinge, shake it up, adjust, same thing on the other side. Using your hinge, grip with one, cuddle with the other, punch through, rack hold. Vertical forearm, it's in tight, it's not resting on your chest, and you're thinking about what it would take to press this bell. Feel that tension, get underneath your load for 5, 3, 2, step, hinge, up without.
We'll be squatting under a load today in that very position, the rack. So let's practice that. Take an imaginary $100 bill and place it in your armpit at your rib cage. Now retract through the rhomboids, those back muscles, to keep it in there nice and tight. As we descend in our squats, personalize your feet. Can we keep the elbow so close to the ribs? Press yourself to tall. Done incorrectly, that elbow will be forward like a rack position with a barbell. However, with that kettlebell, let's keep that forearm vertical. Repeat one more. Pull down, retract your shoulder blade, and to tall. Toss that around, catch it on the other side. Tuck in that $100 or $1 million bill, and from here, we'll pull ourselves low. The lats, the rhomboids, the muscles of the back help to keep this load in our rack. Come up with our core armor fully engaged. And one more time, pull low, vertical forearm, tight to the body, to tall, and shake. We got one more hold, Lauren, what is it?
One more hold, we're gonna hold in our goblet position. So we'll stand over top of our bell. I like to do a quarter turn of the bell there. Starting with our hands on the top, we're gonna hinge, pull, re-grip on horns, holding it about chest height. Hinge, grip, pull, grip on horns. Bell slightly off your body, and right now handle maybe at chin or collarbone height. With those blades lightly retracted and lats engaged, maybe you stay here, or take a peek through the window, and then bring it back down to that chest level. We're in our plank-like position, so ribs to hips, peek through the window, bring it back down. Step, use your hinge, place bell down. All right.
One more movement here to get used to the ballistic nature of that squat. Let's pull ourselves down in the squat. And when we come up, let's press to a single leg. Squeeze your butt cheek. Then point, accept that floor. Power away and hold the balance. Point. One more time each side here. Power away. One more time. Push to balance. Accept the floor. And then push to tall. And shake.
It's time to put it all together with our kettlebell.
Put it all together.
Not that quickly, but probably. We're gonna lie on the floor, take our bell, do a get up all the way to the top. Once at the top, we'll pull our bell down to the rack position, step our feet to our squat position. Round 1, 3 squats. Better than that. Back to center, press your bell or push press, get it back overhead, all the way back down to the floor. Repeat on the other side. We start with 3 squats, then round 2 is 2 squats, and then 1 squat. And we'll save our swings for after that.
That press number stays the same. We'll be doing 1 press for each unique repetition of the get-ups. There's lots of rules to those get-ups, so listen to Lauren's cues. But right now, let's get down any way we choose.
Pick a load that works for you and start in the cuddle. From the cuddle, we roll to our back and we press that bell up into our firing range. Hip drive, pull on elbow. Find your hand, a bridge, a sweep. From that swept position, our back toe is tucked. We're moving into our lunge and then up together. Let's pull that bell down with control. Rack position, step your feet to squat. 3, pull down and up. 1, up, 2, up, 3. Adjust your stance, get that bell back overhead. Need a little legs there. Use your step back lunge. Front leg opens. Rotate in. Safety first. Sweep to the elbow. into your back with control, pulling your bell down. Whew.
I need to make a detour today. I feel it necessary to make a detour.
That was our longest one there.
My goodness, that was a little unexpected. That happens. We'll groove it with this one instead.
Get your other bell buddy. And we'll do this. Do you need a couple seconds? No. Okay.
That press is way harder than it could have been though.
Yeah, I had to use a little push press there.
I know, I should have committed to that.
Cuddle, roll, press. Second side. Hip drive. Hand. Bridge sweep. Hand leaves floor. Both legs help you on that lunge up. Pull your bell down to rack. Adjust your stance to your squats. 3. Pull down. Up to jaw. Pull down. Up. Last one. Adjust, press. And then all the way back down. Control your way down here. Stacking those shoulders. Sweeping and pressing towards the floor. Excellent. That was great.
I sense more of those coming up, Lauryn.
Yeah, didn't I tell you 2s and then 1s?
3, 2, 1.
At least we all get less and less.
A little distracted for some reason, but we're trying to use these get-ups to stay focused and strong. Okay.
Now you know what's coming.
Maybe if I call it out, I'll do better.
Okay, you go this time.
I promise to remember to squat.
This is too, yeah.
Okay. So we're back to that original side for 2. Squats, that is. We'll roll and press, firing range. Extend the hip. Tall sit next. We bridge. Sweep. Press the floor away. Square up the lunge. Full body tension. Pull that kettlebell back down to rack. Adjust your stance. 2 repetitions of our squat. Up, full up. Pull down. Power up. Adjust your stance. Press to overhead. Great job, Lauryn. And pull down to the lunge. Then open and hinge. Sweep. Elbow to the back with control. 2 hands on. Cuddle it down. Switch to the other side. It's heavy once it's in that racks position for a while.
It is, and then to get it back out of that rack position.
It's a toughie.
Proving challenging.
Toughie.
As intended.
Especially with a 20-kilogram bell. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. Cuddled it. It's 2 squats once we're standing. Roll to the back and press. Hip extension.
It's as heavy as my
to the elbow.
Flower.
Tall sit. Bridge. Sweep. Press away. Square up those lunges. Tall stand. Pull to the rack. Adjust your stance. 2 squats. Pulling, powering up, pulling down, powering back up. Yep. Press. Drop back in the lunge. Take your time getting low. Then open. Hinging, windmilling. Then sweeping the leg to a tall sit. Elbow and back. 2 hands. Cuddle. Roll. Shake. Check in.
Check in.
One more time.
Going well. Harder. Hard.
Yeah.
Challenging. Simple, not easy, I'd say.
Simple, not easy, I'd say, is very appropriate for that.
Whoops, that was supposed to be a smooth. One more round.
One more wrap round. Here we go.
From the cuddle to the firing range, 2-handed press, then the hip drive and the pull on the elbow. Get to the hand, bridge, sweep, pressing the floor away, and those both legs to help you up. Pull that bell down with control to rack. 1 squat. Adjust your stance, press. Roll out, push, press there. Step back lunge. Front leg moves, that rotate hinge. Sweep to the elbow and to the back. Pulling the bell down with control. Whew. 1 more round, everyone. Great job. Sounds like it's going well. Good.
Sounds like my heart rate's up a little bit. Feel a little.
Boom, bada boom.
Feel a little sweat dripping down my brow. These ones.
All right. Thanks for the clarification.
Yeah.
Roll press. Single. Hip drive pull to the hand. The bridge sweep. Up. Standing via lunge. Pull bell down. One squat. Last squat. Last press. Boom. And control the get up, back down, one step at a time. Finishing as you started, pulling down with control, placing your belt down, and no rules.
No rules. Stand up.
Take a second, shake it off, maybe have a quick
Sip of
drink.
water. I'm very disappointed that I had to go down on that kettlebell. But that's okay. One way that you can bridge the gap between your heavy and light, or that kettlebell in between, is to do lighter versions of 1 reps, set of exercises, and then a heavier bell, like I'm about to do for my set of swings.
That's right.
Let's go back to it.
And you spent all that time before underneath your heavy bell.
Oh, I don't need.
Because it was heavy.
Yeah.
Huh?
It is heavy. It's heavy.
All
First
right.
time in 2 years I've had to drop down in your class there, Lauren.
Good. Last week we got back to our 2-handed swings and we did sets of 5s and 10s. This is what we're going to do again tonight. No, it's not. I added in a rep set of 8. Sorry, hard to read this hour. 5 swings, I go, Ian goes. 8 swings, I go, Ian goes. 10 swings, I go, you go. 10, 8, 5. 6 sets, starting with 5s, with 2 hands.
Upsies, downsies in this I go, you go. And in this case, it's Team Lauryn doing 5 repetitions of the swing. Each swing, it looks the same as one another, has the same power as one another, although the accumulation of reps will make them feel more tired.
Team Ian, if you went with me, you're resting. If you didn't, you're swinging right now. 5 swings, 2 more. That plank tension we practiced, that suit of armor, 8s.
High tension in that suit of armor throughout the full ranges of motion of the swing. In between though, we're slowing down the breath, adding a little bit of shakes and looseness for restoration. The 8 repetitions comes around quick, so when Lauryn does the 8, Team Us is now ready to do our set of 8.
As mentioned in many past episodes, match that breathing to that hip extension through. The strong exhale will make sure that the core is stabilized on the front and the back, and the cheeks are squeezed. 8 here for you, and then I'm going for 10.
There it is. Low, medium, high, waving or going up and then back down in these reps will add time under tension and allows us to work on endurance. A couple more there, Lauryn. For those of us who are resting, continue to stay loose. And once 10 is gone, here we are, our turn.
Teeny in here, first set of 10. 10 swings. Power on number 1 is the same as power on number 10. If it's not, place your belt down, take a little extra rest, but keep that tension high and consistent the whole time. 10s again.
10 again, at that apex for 2 quick sets. Slow down the breath if you're resting, but match the hip extension phase with that big power out if you're swinging. The toes are rooted. For us resting, we're shaking. In a second longer, you know it. Last set of 10 for us.
All right, Team Ian. Peak of the pyramid. 10 swings. If you're with me, you're breathing. Mouth is closed. In and out those nostrils. Fill it up. Force it out. After Ian finishes his 10 here,
There's
we're
our
on
10.
our way back down to 8.
In slow if you're recovering, out slower. If you're swinging, it's breath in on the backswing, then the up effort on the up. Couple more. Lauryn's stance is the same. The toes are turning white with that tension in the ground.
Try to maintain control of that breath, both as you're swinging and as you're recovering. It's hard. It's good for you. Last couple swings here for Team Ian. 5.
Just like Lauryn there, I'll take those extra couple breaths to restore that breathing. In slow to maximize that oxygen uptake and to convince yourself it's okay.
5 swings, Team Ian. Last set here to finish out the working part of our practice or workout. Once Ian puts those bells down, let's all stand up. Close our mouths. Breathe in and out our nose. Taking a couple breaths on your own terms there. One more for yourself. Now let's breathe in for 4, 3, 2, and out for 4, 3, 2. In for 4. Hold for 4. Exhale for 4. Repeat again. In for 4. Hold for 4. In for more 4. Exhale for 4. One more time. In for 4. Hold. In for 4. Out for 4. And now hold empty for 4, 3, 2, 1. That's a tricky, sneaky one.
Thought I had her today. Thought I was going to be able to do it. New challenges, same but different challenges every week. That is Tuesdays at 4:05 with strength and swings.
Dun, dun, dun.
So,
Thanks for go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Well, I'm just looking at the time here, and man, we did so much in 35 minutes.
I know.
What a productive 35 minutes that was. I hope you can join us next time.
With our patrons, thank you very much. With our YouTube members at large, hello. Hit that subscribe button. Maybe even visit barsandbells.com, like our other most important members who have an online portal, exclusive content, and weekly link letters to live classes just like this. So thank you. With you, our trainees, and us, the trainers, we will stay strong. Let's train soon. And
take care.
Take care. Have a great day. Enjoy your evening. We'll see you soon in class. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.